And I've had a complaint about how people that move, let's say Black Americans or African Americans, have moved back to Africa. And one of the biggest challenge normally is not us Africans being more, I would say, easy and lenient when it comes to like work in terms of the productivity that maybe someone in America would provide compared to how much we would provide, because we tend to, not that we are lazy, but like we are easy. We are not like under the pressure of within this hour you didn't deliver this, within this hour this was not delivered, you know. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be evaluating on reasons why we should move out of our country and go abroad. Now the interesting thing is, if I'm from Kenya, abroad is normally America, Europe, Canada, Australia, such kind of places. But for someone, let's say in Canada, in America, in those places that we consider abroad, when they say coming to Africa or Asia, that's what their abroad is, which is an interesting story. Yeah, so today we're going to be reacting to why this Nigerian decided, you know what, I have been in Canada, but this is why I don't want to be there. Like, I'm keen to hear what are his ideas about living in a whole different countries. It is a very interesting discussion that continues to be where you are torn between, do I live in my country and try look for opportunities there, or do I travel to another country and get opportunities? And we hear a lot it being said, you know, there'll be better opportunities, there'll be better pays, and that puts you in an uncertain or unknowing situation. And on the other side, you find them also trying to move to abroad. So which is better? Which is better, guys? Let's have the discussion down in the comment section down below, and tell me, are you living abroad, and what is your current home for it to be like, where is your abroad? Anyway, in Nigeria, this whole concept about Japa is not new. Japa to mean fly away, like get out of Nigeria as much as you can. And a whole discussion has been going on should you Japa or should you just stay? So let's hear what he has to say.
How different is work in Canada compared to work in Nigeria?
Canada doesn't program you to work and enjoy your work.
Have you faced any sort of discrimination?
Don't come to Canada if you are stable back home. It's not worth it.
Immigrating to Canada is...
So, okay, I know that's the hook, but he says don't come to Canada if you've made it in your country. And I hear this a lot, and I'm encouraged by this a lot severally. Like, if you're doing well here, don't move. Or if you're doing well, if you're doing well, so okay, let me be patient and listen to what he has to say.
It's very glamorous to potential immigrants in third world countries. They dangle the dream of becoming a citizen one day.
Don't call us third world countries, but okay, if you say so.
And while there are a lot of benefits, the Canadian economy seems to be heavily burdened with all these people coming in. As an immigrant myself,
Oh, really? Okay. I thought they just said there's more places and opportunities open for people to visit Canada. I didn't know there's like an influx or like an overflow of immigrants.
I can see the crisis in housing, delays in immigration, and a weak job market. So today I share an interview with you of a Nigerian immigrant brother who is facing some of the common struggles we experience as a foreign worker. What is your name?
Peter is my name.
And what do you do in Canada?
Well, I'm a research student. I'm a master's student in University of Saskatoon. And
So he's a student. Note that. Also, I don't know if Canada has the same restriction as many countries. If you're a student, you are restricted on where you can work and stuff like this.
I'm also a medical doctor.
Oh, he's also a medical doctor.
Even though presently in Canada, I'm trying to have an assessment of all my credentials so that I can practice in Canada.
How different is work in Canada compared to work in Nigeria?
Well, two sides. In Nigeria, we are more culturally oriented. So, for example, a client walked into my clinic, they started for me to ask, how are you? What did you eat yesterday? And usually there's no time limit. You want a person to talk. But here in Canada, a client walks into your place, everything is timed. Canada is more regimented.
I feel like, I don't know how I feel about going to a doctor and they're like, your time is up. Because I'm used to the Kenya system of, okay, you need more minutes to express your problem or stuff like this. Well,
get to your place of work, you already have your schedule. You see task shift duty. Do this, do this, do this. Done, not done. Why? The dollar you're getting, you have to work for it. Do you understand? So there's no sitting down, no loitering around, nothing. You just have to do it.
in one way that's a good thing, because then it makes you, you know, be accountable for your work and be able to, like, you know, work diligently. Yeah. And I've had a complaint about how people that move, let's say Black Americans or African Americans, have moved back to Africa, and one of the biggest challenge normally is not us Africans being more, I would say, easy and lenient when it comes to like work in terms of the productivity that maybe someone in America would provide compared to how much we would provide, because we tend to, not that we are lazy, but like we are easy. We are not like under the pressure of within this hour you didn't deliver this, within this hour this was not delivered, you know. Well, but they're still very hardworking people here in Africa, I would
So
say.
kind of make you feel on edge. So Canada makes you feel like you're working for your money. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, you're working and you're enjoying your work. Canada doesn't program you to work and enjoy your work. The master that is paying you is saying, I'm paying you to get this job done. But in Nigeria,
It's more relaxed.
enjoy, more relaxed, and you're still getting your money. And that is huge.
Have you faced any sort of
Well, I would say I don't have much contribution into the workspace, either in America or abroad or in Kenya or anywhere, because, well, but in one way or another, there has to be a degree of balance between work and life, if that makes sense. But not to mean for work not to be done.
discrimination in the workplace in Canada? Because
Is that even a question about discrimination of workplace? I don't even need to hear his answer. I already have a degree of, yeah, there is.
because of your background?
Of course, definitely. The first place I worked, I was a supervisor. Even my co-supervisors discriminated against me. Even the staff I had to supervise discriminated against me because they just couldn't imagine that one black man from Africa would come around and then become a supervisor.
Also, they say a lot that we look like we don't know. So I've had this so many times about someone getting like a certain job, and they find is a black person, and they're like, oh, so you can read, oh, so you know how to do this, so you know how to execute this, which is a very high level of discrimination.
My colleague supervisor will go to the staff and will be asking, how was Peter today? Did he perform? So that was quite huge. I felt it,
That's unfortunate.
unfortunately.
Then I also have like a friend of mine that is working in a community that has like different people from all over the world, and this person is like, she's Kenyan, and she was telling me of how even at the workplace, like she's paid less just because she's of my color, and the person that is like high paid is because they are like different from us, and that is sad. And even worse, now that's not even outside Africa to now think about it. It's actually here in Africa, but because someone is, you know, different, you don't discriminate them. And on the opposite, which actually we need to be educated on this, on the opposite, when let's say someone comes of different color, let's say to Kenya or to Nigeria, they are seen as the solution giver, like they know everything, which is sad, which needs to change. We should believe in ourselves more and question if actually they know whatever they're doing.
So I had to take it up with the management. I said, no, that's wrong.
If you had to give any advice to someone in Nigeria who wants to come to work in Canada, what would you tell them?
No, don't come to Canada if you're stable back home. It's not worth it. It's just a fleece. It's a mirage. And that's the truth. Some of us are here because we've decided to come. For example, coming to Canada as a consultant psychiatrist, I had my hospital, I had the money, I had my driver, I had everything working. I had 3 vehicles. I had built a house and I was living in a duplex.
But then why did you go?
Some of us, we looked at it and we said, you know what, for the sake of my children.
So did you come to Canada mainly for your kids?
2 things. I wanted the international community to benefit from my wealth of knowledge. I also benefit from them and use it to build Africa. And at the same time, Canada is rewarding me with citizenship that my children will benefit from.
How do the salaries differ?
I want to know about the mindset or the thought of how citizenship in Canada is going to serve the kids. First of all, I'm thinking in being able to be open to more opportunities that somehow would be like a bonus. But I'm thinking, is this what all of us should do? Like, you're telling me don't come to Canada, but you're still enjoying the quote-unquote fruits that come with Canada. And that's why I get to be like, well, I don't know. Sometimes don't get advice from people that are already doing those kind of things, you know? It could be maybe not that bad, but also, It's interesting. It's interesting how, as human beings, sometimes we think. Let me know in your comment section down below. What do you think? What do you think?
For in Canada compared to Nigeria?
Salaries in Nigeria is better, you understand? Because I can be making an equivalent of $1,000 in Nigerian naira. The amount that I'm going to spend out of that $1,000 to get my house, rent, everything may just be about 300 or 400. I have opportunity to save like 500 from my salary. But you can't try that in Canada.
Your rent
It's not even enough. You have to cut your coat according to your clothes in Canada. Because your rent, many things are competing. So it's like they give and they take. The system will take it away from you, from parking lots, from the toll gate, from bills, from charges, everything, bus pass. They will take your money.
Yeah. It comes and it goes fast.
Well, as you're saying, it comes and goes fast. Let me read an interesting comment here, which is also something that I'm thinking about. If he relocated back home after his experience in Canada, I would agree with him on the idea of don't come to Canada. That's not the case. He's sticking around for his kids. Let him encourage others to come for the sake of their families as well. And my main concern about this comment is if it's not good for you, how is it good for your kids? Like, that's the part I also don't get. Yeah, if it is not serving you right, how is it going to serve your kids right? Or what's gonna be different that is gonna serve your kids right? Maybe the only place that I find on the benefit of quote unquote the kids is the exposure of a whole other place or a whole other situation going on. Because as he's saying, his advice is don't go if your life is stable in your country, but his life was stable, right? Well,
Fast.
You can save more back in Nigeria. You get 1,000. You can, if you are not a extravagant person, you will save half of your salary.
That's good to know. I didn't know that. Do you have any regrets coming to Canada?
At the beginning, I had a regret. But the reason why my regrets were very limited was because I knew what I was going into. I knew it was going to be, there were going to be challenges. But, the unemployment rate, the housing, the discriminations, sometimes you don't prepare for some of these things. Even if you knew theoretically that you're going to face them, when they hit you, then you know that it's real. And those moments, I had my regrets. But I just discovered that as you ease into the system, as you get acclimatized, you just begin to understand the system for what it is. There are a lot of systemic discrimination that you won't see it as a form of discrimination because it's already systematized. It's already part of the system. They won't put it in your face. We call it systemic discrimination. It's quite huge, but it's hidden under laws, organizational rules and code. But you will know that it's deeply hidden. But they won't put it and shove it to your face and say, you have been discriminated upon. They'll tell you we are against color, we are against discrimination, we are against bullying and harassment, but it is systemic. So those things you regret. But by and large, when you look at the brighter future, the knowledge you are getting, so for that, I give it to them.
Brother.
Well, I don't know if actually I understood if he regrets moving to Canada or not, because he just said initially he did regret. I'm looking forward to like a follow-up of being like, he said he's going there to get like the citizenship. Is he ever gonna go back to Nigeria? I'm keen to hear on that part. And of course, I'm not against people going to get opportunities and things that they need or they feel that they can get, but I'm also more excited to see on people being able to create their own things in their own country and establishing and knowing that even in our own country we can create these opportunities. Because I feel now sorry if he was a medical doctor with like a hospital and all these things with the drivers, all of those people now ended up being jobless. Wow. Anyway, let me know in the comment section if you have moved out of your country. Do you regret moving? Would you come back? Would you advise other people to move, or you're of the notion of I don't advise you to come and then you're still there? Let me know in the comment section down below and I'll be happy to hear what you have to say. Until next time, bye for now.